Good evening. I'm Brandon Morano.
And I'm Jennifer Roscoe. 23-year-old Trevor Lewis was back in court today, while dozens of Central Illinois firefighters sat in the gallery just feet behind him. For the first time, they saw the person police say hurt their co-workers last Thursday at Buena Vista Drive and Neal Street in Champaign. WCIA3's Amanda Brennan is live outside the courthouse in Urbana. Amanda, how are fellow first responders feeling after this detention hearing?
The union's president says many of them are happy with the judge's decision today, but they also know there is a long court process ahead of them. Many of those union members, about 40 of them from various Central Illinois fire departments, were right in front of the courthouse earlier this morning showing support for the 3 first responders who were hurt.
It's tragic to see what happened to them and to see good people have to suffer like that.
He's describing his friends, his co-workers, firefighter Bobby Poynton and Lieutenant Courtney Moravec.
They are the best of us.
They were 2 of the first responders hurt at this Champaign intersection last Thursday. Colton Brightenfeld, a paramedic with Arrow Ambulance, was also stabbed. Police say 23-year-old Trevor Lewis called 911 for mental health help when things took a turn. The prosecution and the defense both laying out what they say happened during Wednesday's detention hearing, with dozens of first responders pouring in, sitting in the audience.
While they were addressing his medical and mental health issues, he took a knife out from his pocket and lunged at Lieutenant Moravec. Ultimately, it was determined that he had been stabbed by the defendant in his left shoulder blade.
Champaign County State's Attorney Julia Reitz says Lewis then turned to the paramedic, targeting the chest but striking the arm. That's when she says Lewis started chasing firefighter Poynton and stabbed him 9 times,
including at least 2 stab wounds to his head.
Everyone was taken to the hospital, including the suspect.
During the ride to the hospital, he said in the vicinity of an officer who was riding with him to the hospital, I was hoping to stab the officers so they'd kill me. I didn't want it to be them, but it had to be them.
Reed says officers interviewed Lewis's mom, who told them he had, quote, been acting normally, but when he asked for money for alcohol, she told him no.
And so he got mad and left the hotel that they were staying at shortly before the incident.
Reed asked Judge Brett Olmstead to keep Lewis behind bars throughout the case. But Anderson Winston, an assistant public defender, says after an evaluation,
jail would seem more detrimental to helping him through this process as opposed to some kind of treatment center. He
acknowledges the suspect has been going to mental health and drug rehab.
He has also, for quite some time, been on a wait list seeking out some psychiatric and therapeutic assistance.
Judge Olmstead ultimately siding with the state. Lewis was denied pretrial release.
He's clearly not, for a variety of reasons, in control of his own conduct, able to assess situations for what they really are, and is not in a position to value the lives of those around him.
A decision many firefighters are happy with.
But I'd also like to point out this is the beginning of a long process, and our demand is that the courts are going to treat this case to the level that it should be.
We also learned in court today that Lewis violated his probation in Knox County, Illinois. That's the county just west of the Peoria area. The Champaign County State's Attorney Julia Reitz says he had a gun with him in jail. Reporting live in Urbana, I'm Amanda Brennan, WCIA3, your local news leader.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Now, as we mentioned, dozens of firefighters were inside the courtroom for today's hearing. One even traveled an hour from Bloomington. He says even though he doesn't work in Champaign, he wanted to show his support for his fire family.
The group met outside of the courthouse explaining recent meetings the local firefighters union has had with the Champaign Fire Department. One of those happened 24 hours after the stabbing. The group's president says Champaign police will now be dispatched to every mental health call.
That is a change that, working with our administration, they've currently put into place and is happening. It was happening as of Friday night, I believe. Because at this point, this is essentially a daily occurrence for Champaign firefighters. We're dealing with these types of emergencies all the time.
He says department-wide training also started this week, allowing for open discussions about what happened and how to move forward. They've also reviewed best practices when it comes to handling behavioral health or other threats. He hopes that continues as well.